Hey, we're going back to back with Cape Town universities tonight, so that's kind of fun. At least something. So yeah, we're the UCT brewing team. So yeah, a bunch of us couldn't make it. We're actually quite a big team that usually brews all together. Um, we have Wilco over here, Elsa, myself, James, and Nicole, who could make it. Sadly, Stephen, Ricardo, and Jacqueline, they couldn't be with us tonight, as well as Nicole's sister, Jules, who made all of our labels, thankfully, but didn't come with us tonight. But yeah, happy to be here and everything. So with our system, we're really working in, like, everyone else has said their system is simple, but ours is like the next level of simple. We were gifted graciously by SAB in 2006, a brewing system, and it remains to this day unchanged. And as part of this system, which we run out of the first year chemical engineering labs, where we don't get to use the whole lab, only part of it. The rest of it gets to be used by the first years. We also have to brew in James's kettle, which is just a big pot, which we hang the bag. So wet malt, brew in a bag, yeah. But when you have to hold it to drain it for the whole time, yeah, it's good. Yeah. So yeah, all fun and games.
Just to add a few things, with our original system that we still use, we can only brew between a 40 and a 60 litre batch, which sort of limits us in terms of making smaller, more experimental brews. So that's really why we've been using James's system this year, with just essentially a kettle and a geyser element in it. It works well. I mean, I think most of the universities know that simple is better. The more complicated your system is, the more things that go wrong. Particularly with our old system, we've got a pump that's still over-spec'd, so we constantly actually get a stuck water. But you have quirks with your systems, and I'm sure all the universities deal with it accordingly. And okay, so on to some of our mishaps. The first one being one of our team members missed the flight this morning. Luckily he made it. Otherwise, we didn't really have too many things go wrong this year. Not really a problem. We ran out of fridge space, so we'd love to try and find another fridge to add to expand our system. We only had one infected brew this year, but it was when we were playing with our wild yeasts, so I suppose that could be expected. We had a couple of spillages across the lab, some DME, boilovers.
Some nice spillages this morning at about 3:45 as we're trying to pack up everything. And one of our competition beers managed to go all over the floor as we were packing up. So, great fun.
Okay. So in terms of successes, we finally actually managed to get a fruit beer right this year. We've had some disastrous ones a couple of years ago with a pineapple beer where we didn't use tinned pineapple, we used fresh ones, and we hadn't deactivated the enzyme there. Not sure if any other teams have had that bad experience before. So we're really thrilled to have had some great fruit beers this year. Otherwise, we've had temperature control in some of our fermenters for the first time. We haven't been able to ferment above 20 degrees. So we're essentially using a homemade thermostat in a lunchbox and just a heating blanket and a sleeping bag. So it's worked really well, keeping it simple. The other thing we tried for the first time is a kettle sour. We weren't so sure about it, but we're thrilled with how it came out. And also another first for us was sort of culturing lactobacillus from some sorghum grains. So I think that's a picture on your left, the first picture on your left. So yeah, we had some nice successes this year. I'm going to hand over to James to quickly go through our beers for us.
Okay, so first of all, we have a Czech dark lager. It's really rich and malty while still being sessionable. I got lucky enough to go to Prague this year and I tasted this really delicious Czech dark lager and I thought I'd try and recreate it. I hope I've done them proud. The label for it can be seen, done by Julia, Nicole's sister. Yeah, really a talented artist. We decided kind of to go for the chess theme, but then kind of, dark a dark night, like a black night, and but then go for like the Prague Gothic thing. The next one we made an IPA. We've made it super fruity. We used almost all cryo hops in there. We want to create a really nice, like malty sweetness. So we use Munich malt as well as Cara Munich to kind of give that like richness. And then as well we used Centennial for bittering, and then we used almost all cryo hops in the Whirlpool and dry hop additions. Yeah, it's called Cryo Mere River, kind of play on cryo. Also, my salty tears from last year. I thought my Naipa deserved better. Yeah, so then our low alcohol beer is another Saison. Brewed last year, worked really well. This time we blending 2 beers together, one with both Lullam yeast, thank you Jacques, used Bell Saison and Farmhouse, did a split batch, 2 beers, blending them 90% Bell Saison, 10% Lullam Farmhouse, and yeah, I think it came out really nicely. Also changed the hops, made it a little bit more bitter. Yeah, Bell of the Ball, kind of play on Bell Saison, the yeast. Then we decided to change it up this year with our sour beer. We had really good success with Philly Sour last year, so use that as the yeast again, as the souring. Added a lot of passion fruit, so it's a complete passion fruit bomb. But we also added nachi. By mistake, we added the pulp too, so when we poured it, it kind of was not really a beer, it was more a beer mosa. So we had to filter it, but now it's no longer has bits in it, don't worry, and it smells of just pure passion fruit, really divine. It's a Brazilian style of beer, new to the BJCP this year. Yeah, I think you guys will really like it. Anyway, so then we went completely wild with the wild ale, cultured up lactobacillus from sorghum grains, used 50% sorghum in the mash, 50% SAB malt, then only South African hops. Then we added so much hibiscus, so it's like this deep red color. And then we added some fruit addition just to give kind of that backbone to that, to the fruitiness that the hibiscus gives off. Anyway, those are our beers in all 5 categories. Thank you very much.